What's going on, Leafs Nation? This is Victor, and I'm not going to pretend this is an easy topic to talk about, because it isn't. There are moments as a fan when frustration turns into uncomfortable questions. Not about one bad game or one bad stretch, but about direction. About whether the path you're on is actually leading anywhere. And that's exactly why today's story matters. This isn't just another trade rumor. This is a conversation about identity, about timing, and about whether the Leafs could ever consider doing something that feels almost unthinkable. And once you hear the logic behind it, you may not like it, but you'll understand why people are even talking about it. Before we dive in, if you're a Leafs fan who sticks with this team through every high and low, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Help us reach 600 subscribers. This community is built on honest Leafs conversations. Now let's talk about the idea that has a lot of fans uncomfortable, and a few quietly wondering. The discussion starts with Auston Matthews, and not in the way any of us ever wanted. The core of this story isn't that Matthews suddenly isn't great. When he's at his best, he's still one of the most dominant players in the NHL. Multiple Rocket Richard trophies, a Hart Trophy, and moments that have defined this era of Leafs hockey. But the conversation being raised is about something else: frustration. Over the past couple of seasons, Matthews hasn't looked like a player enjoying the spotlight the way he once did. Since being named captain, his demeanor has felt heavier. The energy feels different. That doesn't mean he's quitting on the team, but it does raise questions about wear and tear, both physically and mentally. There's context here. Craig Berube arriving, Mitch Marner leaving, injuries that have disrupted rhythm and consistency. All of that matters. And statistically, Matthews' numbers have dipped compared to his peak seasons. Not because he suddenly forgot how to score, but because circumstances around him have changed. As a Leafs fan, this is where it hurts. Matthews is a franchise player, a Mount Rushmore player for this team. The kind of player that, between 2005 and 2016, we would have done anything to acquire. And yet, here we are, years later, still without the playoff success we dreamed would come with him. That's where the rebuild conversation creeps in. Matthews has 2 years remaining on his contract after this season. And the uncomfortable truth is this: if the Leafs wait too long, they risk losing him for nothing. So the question becomes, is it better to get ahead of that possibility? One hypothetical trade being discussed sends Matthews to the San Jose Sharks. The logic from San Jose's side is clear. They've already struck gold with Macklin Celebrini, who at just 19 years old is producing at a level comparable, and in some cases superior, to what Matthews did at that age. Celebrini has completely changed the trajectory of that franchise. Adding Matthews to that core would be the ultimate all-in move. The proposed return for Toronto would include Logan Couture's $8 million LTIR contract, a 2026 first-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, and Michael Misa, the second overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft. Misa just scored 62 goals in his final year of junior, and he's a young center with legitimate star potential. From a Leafs perspective, that's the appeal. 2 first-round picks and a high-end young center could fundamentally reshape the future of this franchise. And while taking on Couture's contract sounds ugly, it's not something ownership would realistically shy away from. Emotionally, though, this is brutal. Trading the best player many of us have ever watched in a Leafs jersey feels wrong. It feels like admitting failure, like closing a chapter we believed would end differently. But as painful as it is to say, this team hasn't won with Matthews and Marner together. Losing both within a short span would be devastating. But the argument being made is that holding on too long could be even worse. This isn't about wanting Matthews gone. It's about fear of losing control of the future. This idea isn't easy, and it's not something most fans want to accept. But it does reflect the moment the Leafs are in right now, stuck between belief and reality. Between hoping this core finally breaks through and wondering if the window has quietly started to close. Trading Auston Matthews would be a franchise-defining decision, one that would hurt deeply, even if it made long-term sense on paper. And that's what makes this conversation so uncomfortable and so important. Now, I really want to hear from you. Is this idea completely off limits? Or is it a conversation the Leafs need to at least be honest about? Drop your thoughts in the comments, give the video a like if you appreciate real, uncomfortable Leafs discussions, and subscribe to help us reach 600 subscribers. This is Victor. Thanks for sticking with me through this one. And as always, go Leafs go!